Hello, everyone. So, the Republican governor of Nebraska, Pete Ricketts, had something absolutely absurd to say about legalizing marijuana. Take a look and then we'll talk about it.
So, this is a dangerous drug that will impact our kids. If you legalize marijuana, you're going to kill your kids. That's what the data shows from around the country. And that's why it's dangerous to go around the established process we have to determine whether or not drugs are safe and effective, and why legalizing marijuana and going around the regulatory process to keep people safe is dangerous and going to harm our kids.
Okay, now that you've had time to watch that garbage, before I get into my commentary, allow me to read to you a little excerpt from an article from The Hill that really details the situation. So it goes, a bill in the legislature's Judiciary Committee would legalize medical marijuana, but State Senator Anna Wishart, a Democrat, said Wednesday that the Senate won't have the last say, the Associated Press reported. Wishart said those advocating for legalizing marijuana will push for a ballot measure if the state doesn't pass the legislation. A marijuana legalization measure was going to be on the ballot last year, but Nebraska's Supreme Court stripped it because of a rule barring multiple issues from being bunched into a single yes-no question. The measure included the subjects of the rights to use and grow, as well as how to regulate it. Advocates believe they have revised the measure so the court will accept it on the ballot, according to the Associated Press. A growing number of states have been passing legislation legalizing marijuana for medical or recreational use. A bill was passed in February in Virginia that will legalize the recreational use of marijuana in the state in 2024. So Virginia, I believe, became the 16th state, or will become the 16th state whenever 2024 comes around, to effectively legalize marijuana completely. Now, before I actually really get in my commentary, I just want to touch on something really quick. So, a marijuana legislation measure was going to be on the ballot last year. I believe that's what they're referring to as direct ballot initiatives. You know how every election cycle or every midterm cycle, you vote, the American people vote directly on issues that they, yay or nay for, and that didn't get put on the ballot because it apparently was asking too many questions, and it's just supposed to be a yes or no question. I just want to point out, look at the lengths that they go to block progressive policies, but that's neither here nor there. So let's get into this. Pete Ricketts. What the fuck? Let's just read a couple of his quotes here. Marijuana is a dangerous drug that will impact our kids. Impact them how, Pete? How? By getting them high? Yeah, it does that. Those are the effects of marijuana. I don't know if you ever smoked it or not, but yeah, it has that kind of effect. If you legalize marijuana, you're gonna kill your kids. Wow. So how are the kids gonna die here, Pete? How are they gonna die here? Is it by smoking marijuana? Because I hate to inform you, actually I don't hate to inform you, there has never been a single recorded death solely because a person smoked marijuana, whether it's been too much of it, not enough of it, or somewhere in between. Those are the facts. And I love how he points there. He says, that's what the data shows. So the data to him shows that if you legalize marijuana, you're going to kill your kids. What kind of data are you looking at, Pete? What kind of scientists are you talking to, Pete? Who are you conversing with on this issue? Because it sounds like you're just making this stuff up. Oh, wait, he is. He is just making this stuff up. This is what politicians do all the time, especially Republican politicians. When it comes to issues that they're directly opposed to, they come up with bullshit to scare the American people, to try and change and distort the opinion of said issue to get the people to oppose it as well. Okay? You see how he doesn't point out, or well, this person said this, or we have this evidence, and this is all statistics and data and something. And maybe the people will believe me because I'm standing here in front of a microphone with a suit on, and I sound somewhat intelligent. So maybe they'll just, marijuana kill the kids. But see, this is actually one of those issues surrounding marijuana where it's kind of broad spread, and the belief and the facts are so broadly accepted among the people of the country that they know that what he's saying is bullshit. Like, this is one of those issues where it's not easy to get people to fall for it. Now, I will admit, on certain issues where the American people aren't that educated on, politicians can weasel their way in and say stupid shit like this, like, it'll kill your kids. Like the healthcare debate, right? They demonize Medicare for all and say that, oh, Medicare for all is really Medicare for none. People have actually said this dumbass shit. But we know that Medicare for all is the best way to go. Other developed countries have told us, I don't really want to get into that. It's an entirely different debate. But other developed countries have shown us that our privatized healthcare system is a load of bullshit, okay? But the politicians, especially the Republican politicians, as well as a lot of Democrats, will demonize Medicare for all and say that, oh, it's not good, it's not this. Therefore, trying to distort the people's view on that particular subject. And they do the same thing with drugs, not just with marijuana, with all drugs. They demonize all drugs. From a very young age, you're taught, say no to this, say no to that, don't do this, don't do that, right? But statistics and data. Statistics and data show the exact opposite of what this idiot is saying, and I can't stress that enough. Look it up for yourself, okay? The only way anybody dies from taking marijuana especially, and honestly, a vast majority of other drugs, is that if they take the drug and they get themselves in a situation, okay, that then brings death upon them. The drug itself doesn't do that. It doesn't do that, okay? Now, I want to kind of pivot and go in a different direction with this, okay? So we have the facts on our side. We have the data. We have the analyst, okay? We have all the science. He claims to have that, but he doesn't have it. He just made the shit up, okay? So we have all the data. We have all the facts. We have all the science. What's one thing you constantly hear Republican lawmakers talk about? 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. It's one word. Freedom. Oh, freedom. Freedom, right? Freedom. The freedom to do this, the freedom to do that. This is the land of the free, man. We're free. We got to be able to be free and do things that free people do because we love to be free. Well, being free means being able to alter your state of mind for a short period of time if you choose to do so. Being free means to be able to go out and purchase marijuana legally, not go through some backdoor deal with some sketchy guy that stays in an alley that might kill you or something. No, that means being able to go out and purchase your weed and buy and use it in whatever form or fashion you would like to. That's fucking freedom. What happened to freedom? What happened to all that? What happened to the First Amendment and all this other stuff that they love to tout? What happened to freedom? They don't actually believe in it. See, it's only freedom when it comes to, guns and freedom of speech, but not really, only with people that we agree with, and that's it. These people are frauds. They're frauds. You want to talk about freedom? This is true freedom here. It is freedom. Absolutely ridiculous. And I also would like to note in my closing arguments here, there's a man by the name of Dr. Carl Hart. Okay, Dr. Carl Hart. Okay, he is a neuroscientist as well as a professor of psychology at the University of Columbia. Okay, he recently wrote a book titled Drug Use for Grown-Ups. Now look, I haven't read the book. I do plan to read it sometime in the future, but I've watched, he's a very intelligent, he's basically a genius. He's a professor at Columbia. He's a neuroscientist. He's an expert on all these different drug uses and things. But basically, the moral of the story is he recently came out and said, yeah, I use heroin from time to time. And he even said that it made him a better person. And he believes that drugs, the usage of drugs, is the very meaning of freedom. Being able to use drugs however a person may please is something that the Constitution guaranteed every American when it guaranteed them freedom. And, he's a very intelligent person, and you don't have to go read the book. You can if you would like, but just go watch some of his interviews on YouTube and things that he has to say. I don't know if he has any lectures out there, but this is a very astute and smart individual. And this is the guy that you should be looking to for drug advice, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and state my position here just in case you were unsure or where I stand or whatever. I think that we should legalize, tax, and regulate all drugs. Draw no lines from just marijuana here or maybe just PCP there. No, legalize, tax, and regulate all drugs in the drug war. That will fix a lot of the problems that we have as a country, okay? Once again, this guy's name is Carl Hart. He's a neuroscientist. professor of psychology at Columbia University. Go check out his work. I much rather you check out his work than anything that the dumbass Pete Rickett has to say, because he has no idea what he's talking about. Marijuana will not kill your children. But this is just another case of Republicans spewing endless propaganda, trying to distort your worldview on drugs, on anything for that matter. And also, I'll leave you with this. I don't know, go look and see how much money different alcohol wholesalers or different alcohol companies are pouring into some of these people's political campaigns. I guarantee you it's a lump sum. But in the end, another effort from Republicans to demonize drugs and try to distort people's view on progressive policies.